Hello, good people. Welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. The issue of dual personality for Ohanaeze and Igbo is still causing a lot of issue because the two bodies seems to be, working almost against each other or operating as if two of them must be recognized by the people. However, we are not really interested in talking about that, but we have a news here which has to do with the statement made by Chidi Ibe, late Ohanaeze Igbo, about the trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He said there's a connivance somewhere and the people need to wake up. And that's what we're going to be looking at, the content of that news. And at the same time, let me call it a refresh of the war between Uzodinma's government and Okorocha is still ongoing. Get to hear the next move that they have taken against Okorocha's property in Owerri. We'll give you details of all of that and also some analysis. But before we do that, if you're not subscribed, hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our video. The Chidi Ibe, late Ohanaeze Igbo worldwide, has alleged that Igbo leaders and the President Muhammadu Buhari government have sealed agreement for unfair trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of indigenous people of Biafra IPOB. The group said these in a statement signed by Mazi Okechukwu Uzodinma, its Secretary General, and made available on Tuesday. Ohanaeze said the recent response from the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami was an evidence to its earlier warning about the hastily but craftily packaged malls in the legal team of IPOB leader. The organization said that it was obvious that there is synergy between the president and the so-called Igbo leaders to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu gets unfair trial and penalty. According to him, he said Ohanaeze constitution does not permit anyone to set up any legal team without authorization of MNK members and approval of the General Assembly as stipulated in Article 20 and 21 as the highest decision-making organs of Ohanaeze Igbo. The last meeting of the MNK was on 31st December 2020 as General Assembly meeting has never met since 4 years now. Igbos are amazed at how some desperate and shameless Igbo elders could descend so low that they are being used as political jobbers and shenanigans against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu without constitutional approval of the MNK and General Assembly of Ohanaeze Igbo. We are pressurized by MNK's members to disassociate Ohanaeze Igbo from any legal team as it is illegal, unconstitutional, null and void. The Office of the Attorney General of the Federation should know that based on Ohanaeze Igbo's constitution, it is the fundamental liberty of Nnamdi Kanu to choose his legal team, as any attempt to drag Igbo leadership to give ethnic backup to justify the premeditated penalty for Nnamdi Kanu is dead on arrival. Meanwhile, in another news, the Imo State government on Tuesday sealed Rochas Okorocha Foundation College, Oji, in Owerri, the state capital. Government officials arrived at the location, which is the old quarters of the staff of Imo Broadcasting Corporation, and sealed it. The senior special assistant to the governor of Imo State on print media, Modestus Nwamba, who confirmed the development, said that the governor, Uzodinma, was committed to recovering properties of the state allegedly looted by Okorocha and his family. Nwamba said that the governor was implementing the recommendation of various white papers by committees set up by the state government. When asked, the governor's aide told us that the seal-off is true, adding that Governor Uzodinma is committed to recovering all the properties of the state stolen. This is not a personal war, it is just the implementation of the recommendation of the white papers of the various committees set up by the government. But Okorocha spokesperson Sam Onwo Emeodu, when contacted, said that Uzodinma was jolted by Okorocha's enormous political capacity. Okorocha's aide said this is the fourth time Imo State government has announced that they are sealing that place. EFCC has already announced that they had sealed it, but the truth is that Uzodinma should wake up. There is hunger in the state. This is just the renewal of his war against Okorocha after Okorocha and other strong APC chieftain in Imo State visited APC National Secretariat. Each time Uzodinma realizes that the people are not happy with the style of governance, he used Okorocha's name to distract the people. But the truth is, poverty and hunger perverts the atmosphere. He should be humble enough to consult Okorocha on how to govern the state. Wow, that sounds rather very funny. But then let's look at the news from where we all started, talking about the issue of diverse news, evolving out from Ohanaeze and Igbo. It bothers the man a great deal. I think this is one of the things that the Ndibos need to come together to fix once and for all. You can't allow issues like this to tarry for too long, because both of them are just chunking out information that seems to, be so, it seems to, confuse the people. Don't forget that the one recognized by the government is actually Professor Obiozo's late Ohanaeze and Igbo. Now, Chidi also is not ready to give up on it, and both of them are operating side by side, which does not show any form of maturity. My little penny there is they should see how they can resolve the issue. One should step down and another should rule. You understand? It is making this whole thing look very, very funny. And I keep wondering, what is that thing that they're really enjoying there? If one has been recognized, the other is not being recognized, let them come together, sort out their differences, and move on. Look at Afenifere. There had never been a time where there was a dual Afenifere, whereby Afenifere led by so person, and this other one is led by so person. There had never been a time like that. Even in the case of, Arewa Consultative Forum, we've not heard anything like that. Northern Coalition Group, we've never heard something like that. It shouldn't always be happening in the South. However, let's put that aside and look at the issue which they have brought up. Though there are no visible proof to the fact that that kind of thing, there's an agreement between some, Igbo leaders and Malami. But the statement made yesterday by Malami has been debunked by, Judge Obiozo led Ohanaeze and Igbo. Now, the big question is, who was that person? Those group of people who carry themselves around as Ohanaeze and Igbo, who met with Malami talking about, monitoring every activity that will be going on. Who are those people who they claim that they build legal team? Don't forget that before now we had already reported that there was this rumor making rounds that there's a legal team that had been mopped up by Ohanaeze and Igbo. Now, Judge Obiozo came out, debunked. Chidi also said they don't know anything about it. And also, it's really, really troubling. At this point, if they cannot be focused and do things right, to salvage the situation on ground, why not leave it to young people to handle it? At least let the family members, come out strong and see how they can mobilize enough people that will handle the issue effectively. Don't forget that even Britain is also fully involved and fully interested in this case, and they are monitoring from another point. You understand? Let's see how this thing can be resolved once and for all. Now, let's go to the second news. It's always very interesting when things like this happen, For me, it's a fresh one again, hitting Okorocha really hard. But considering the issues on ground, I think that every reasonable government, as much as you are partly doing, trying to recover the loot of other governors or political leaders, but more concentration should be given on the issue of providing adequate infrastructure to better the lives of the people, because that was the essence of you getting into power. This fight is still very needful so that they can recoup a lot of things that have been taken by the former administration. But at the same time, let's concentrate on the issue of providing jobs for our own people. Don't forget that the issue of farming seems to be played down because of the Fulani headsmen who are continuously invading the farms and making the forests, almost unsuitable for the people to go in and do the agricultural business. But at the same time, the government should give more focus on how to provide jobs, how to, build entrepreneurial skills of the people. I've heard he has done one or two, but, it should intensify effort. And let's forget about all this internal fight. It's not helping out. As far as I'm concerned, virtually all the states in Nigeria, if you look at their predecessors, governors, and look at their predecessors, there are one or two things they still have to deal with. But considering the bulk of, activity, bulk of work left for them to do, they seems to be concentrating and moving forward. Yes, you have to recoup, but at the same time, let's give more consideration to some of the things that are currently being causing a lot of issues in your government. I'd like to leave it there. Go to our comments.